are changing, and the way that we think must change along with those times. I dwell on the banking industry a lot when I give lectures like this, because the banking industry is the most visible private sector employer of labor. It's the most visible. You have banking outlets in every city and every town and every village in this country. And they have been, over the course of the last few years, the biggest private sector employers of labor. So many times when I'm talking to NYS people or to university people, I realize that when they say they're looking for white collar jobs, what they mean specifically, a lot of times, if it's not telecoms or oil and gas, they make bank. Okay? And you have to understand that that option, except you believe very strongly that you are called to engage in banking as a career, that era of having a degree in biochemistry or nuclear physics and ending up counting money behind the teller is need a lot of hits. Your self-confidence, your self-esteem, and your self-discipline. For those writing that, let me read it again. In this era, the things that will give you economic security are your sense of purpose, your personal vision, your skills and knowledge, self-awareness and self-discipline and self-confidence. Those are the things that will give you economic security today. Because you can be laid off at any time. When I speak to coppers at orientation camps, one of the things that I find very funny, I think they still do it up till now, is, you know, when you're at the orientation camp and you have several marketing staff from banks that show up. And one of the promises they used to tell us in those days, when I served anyway, I don't know if they still do it now. A bank marketer would come and say, if you open an account with this bank, we will put you on a short list so that when you come out, you can present yourself and we'll put you on a short list of people we can employ. And straight away, that just sounds like such a bogus lie. I can't believe anybody would believe that sort of thing. And I used to tell the couple that the guy promising you a job himself has no job security. He could walk back and discover that he has been sacked and didn't know it all the time. So this idea that all you need to do is enter a particular institution and tune off your brain for the rest of your life, you have to discard it. Okay? The third thing that I want you to take note of, the third resolution, is that we need to fundamentally change our approach to life and education. Part of our problem is that the basis upon which we even entered university for most of us was wrong or flawed. When we were young, when we were children, if they asked you, what do you want to be when you grow up? You learned to say, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a doctor, I want to be an engineer. You learned to say it. You didn't really mean it, but you learned to say it. And you learned to say it because you have been taught that law, medicine, and engineering were supposed to be prestigious professions. And by prestigious professions, that meant that if you're a lawyer, you're a doctor, or you're an engineer, that you will earn a lot of money. That is simply how we think of it in Nigeria. So we raise our children telling them that we should look into the most lucrative professions, and then we now fit them, struggle to fit them into those professions. When the proper order of things is to look at the individual, analyze his range of skills, talents, and inclinations, and then look for the profession or whatever field of economic activity it is that suits him. I'm a lawyer by training. I didn't study law, for example, because I was very thrilled about the Nigerian legal system. I entered it because we were trained, we were raised to think that law is a prestigious profession. Simple. And I remember the first time somebody asked me, what do you want to do? And I told the person, I'd like to be a writer and a journalist. And the person laughed at me. He's a very elderly person, somebody I respect very much in my family. And the person laughed at me and said that I'm going to trek and trek and trek as a journalist until my shoes open up and start smiling at me. So after that, I sort of discarded the journalism idea. But the truth is that if you know that you have a particular inclination for something, the inclination never leaves you. You are the one that leaves it. And maybe 20 years plus after that incident, I look at my life now and I remember that event and I find that I ended up doing the right thing. I'm not a legal practitioner. I hope you understand this. And I'm being personal because this whole question of entrepreneurship is a personal decision for you. Life calls on you to define yourself. And you choose how you want to define yourself. And if you do not define yourself, life will define you. So for many of us now, when I was in the university, one of the things I understood was that a lot of people are suffering in university. Flunking courses that they shouldn't be flunking because they were not meant to be doing those courses in the first place. And after you fail exams over a given period and you pack all the carryovers possible, you begin to think that something is wrong with you, that you are daft or stupid or an imbecile. And that further diminishes you, both as a person and as a scholar. So for many people struggling and suffering in university, I realize that the problem is not that they are stupid. I really do not believe anybody is stupid. I think people have everybody has their own range of competencies. The important thing is for that person to discover it and then to see that he studies or engages in education to make him better at those things. But I realize that many people are struggling because they are doing the wrong things in the first place. Now this is very personal. And the truth of the matter is that there is no way for us when we are discussing things like this that we will not come to the point where we have to make difficult choices. Because I want you to understand one thing. There is no point running very quickly in the wrong direction. There is no point. You can break all the speed records available and it will be of no consequence because you are running in the wrong direction to start with. I have a friend, I knew some friend of mine. He spent 3 years studying chemistry in Kano, in I think the UK. And in his third year, he realized that this wasn't what he wanted to be doing with his life. So he quit, went back, did the whole process, rewrote it, came back, studied law. He's a barrister now, he's a practicing lawyer now. And he's happy. Now that's the kind of choice that some people have to make. I know it doesn't sound exciting because after suffering in Nigerian university, nobody in his right mind wants to go back and repeat it. But I'm just telling you that there are choices that are upon you. And you need to begin to make those choices, or at least you need to begin to consider those choices. Now I said before that where you make your career decision and your university education decision based on which profession will give me the most money, which profession can give me the most security, you have to throw all that out and consider an alternate range of questions. Let me list those questions for you in no particular order. The question that you should be asking yourself, the question that should guide your career choices and your life pursuits are as follows. In what field of life and economic activity can you add the most value? Where can you find your niche for optimum self-expression? If I'm moving too fast, I can take it slow. Where in life, in what field of life and economic activity can you add the